Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be finding the equilibrium price and quantity given the demand function QD equals 60 minus 3p and the supply function QS equals minus 40 plus 5p. Now of course we know equilibrium occurs when the quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied, so we can start with this assumption. Now fortunately for us, we've already been told what QD and QS are. So we can set these two equations to equal each other. And then beautifully we can solve for P by simply rearranging with some simple algebra. Now for those who missed it, I've simply moved the 5p over here and the 60 over here. Minus 5 minus 3 is minus 8p. Minus 40 minus 60 is minus 100. Now we can get rid of the negative signs by multiplying by -1 or just removing them, which leaves us with 8p equals 100. Finally, we can make to 100 over 8, which of course equals 12.5. And just like that, we've found the equilibrium price. Now we can take our equilibrium price and put it back into either the quantity demanded or quantity supplied equations to find that equilibrium quantity, which is the second part of our question. So let's start with the quantity demanded. We know that QD equals 60 minus 3p, and we know that P is 12.5. 3 times 12.5 is 37.5. 60 minus 37.5 is 22.5. So now we know that the quantity demanded is 22.5. Now, in case you're thinking I'm tricking you, I'm not. I'm just going to quickly solve it for the QS equation as well to make sure that that works. Now you remember that we already set quantity demand to quantity supply, so this mathematically has to be the same. If it's not, something's wrong. Oh my goodness. Would you look at that? The quantity demanded and the quantity supply, both equations work when we use our equilibrium price. So we've done it, we've found equilibrium price and quantity. So the next part of the challenge is to graph the result. On the x-axis, we have quantity, and on the y-axis, we have price. So what we really need to do now is find some intercepts to put on this figure. So let's start with the demand line. We know that QD equals 60 minus 3p, so we want to use the inverse demand function to find the intercepts. To do that, we're going to rearrange this equation for P. Okay, just by doing some simple rearranging, we now know that the intercept for P is 20 and the intercept for quantity is 60. So let's plot those on our graph. And the last thing we're going to do is find the intercept for that supply curve. And there we have it, the supply intercepts for P at 8. So let's draw that in. While we're here, we'll just label these lines for a bit of clarity. And the last thing we need to do is take our equilibrium price and quantity and plot them on the figure too. Of course, we know our price is 12.5 and our quantity is 22.5. And there you have it. You've found equilibrium price and quantity and graphed the result. Full marks to you. Now, depending on where you are in your economics course, you might be asked to also put on there the consumer surplus and the producer surplus. Of course, the producer surplus is the area on the graph which is above the supply line and below the equilibrium price. The consumer surplus is the area which is below the demand curve and above the equilibrium price. And there you have it. Hopefully this helps with any upcoming assignments or exams. Consider subscribing as well if you want more economics content, and if you're interested in a bit of procrastination, check out these videos on a bit of market mayhem.